Hello, everyone. Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, here with you today, and I want to talk about whey protein and whey protein isolate in particular. And just so you have a better understanding, that whey protein is certainly far beyond that of just building muscle mass. That's the way most people think about whey protein. And you think, okay, if you're going to work out, you should have a protein shake. And what are you going to use? You're going to use whey protein. And whey protein isolate, in particular, which is what we offer, is really the best choice because you're getting that full spectrum of all of those really important and essential amino acids, but it's improved because it has been um, enhanced in its own unique way by having the fat as well as the casein and the lactose removed from that. So you're getting this pre-digested hydrolyzed form of just those amino acids. And we know that the amino acids are your building block to proteins, which is really, really important, which is why when people are thinking about trying to grow their muscles or hypertrophy, as we call it in the medical world, that having protein on board is really important. So, of course, whey protein going to be beneficial for that. But I also like people to realize that the form that we're using is incredibly, incredibly clean. And this is important because there's a lot of different whey proteins that are out there on the market, and some of them are just not to the quality that I would ever advise someone to be utilizing. And sometimes they pump so much stuff into it, and you look and you see the sugar content is just off, just beyond what one would even expect to see. But they do this, but they market it really well, and people go out and they buy it. But if you're going to be using whey protein, you want to make sure that you're using something that's incredibly clean, and that's what ours is. So we take a lot of time in terms of the sourcing of our whey and then the way that it's actually manufactured so that you're getting that pre-digested hydrolyzed form. So when you take it, you are just getting those powerful amino acids. Now, why do I want to talk about this beyond that of muscles? Well, clearly we know that there are many other utilizations of our amino acids in our body. We can name all the different amino acids and think about how they're used. When we think about things like cysteine, for example, why is that important? Because we know cysteine is key and integral to the manufacturing of glutathione. And Ohio State University actually did a study where they found that when they gave people whey protein isolate, that it actually helped to enhance their glutathione status, which is really, really cool because glutathione is one of our most important and really endogenous antioxidants in the human body. So we definitely want to maintain our glutathione status. So it's not only just for liver health, but for all throughout the entire body. Maintaining glutathione certainly is critical. But then we also have to recognize that there are so many other amino acids that are doing different functions. When we think about arginine with nitric oxide for vasodilation, so even for supporting healthy blood glucose levels, looking at our blood pressure levels, I should say. But some of the other amino acids are also important for maintaining healthy blood glucose levels, which is key because if we are having issues with potentially insulin resistance, for example, then we want to make sure that we have adequate nutrients on board. And that's what the whey protein can really help to kind of cover some of those gaps. Now, I want to tell you about another really unique study, and this was done in Australia. But what they found was when they gave elderly individuals whey protein isolate, that it actually improved both their B12 and their folate levels. Why is that important? Well, think about all the different reasons as to the why the body needs B12 and folate. When we think about cardiovascular, when we think about the manufacturing of red blood cells, when we think about the neurological impacts of having potentially low folate or low B12 in the body, this can create a lot of havoc. And one of the concerns as we get older is maintaining adequate vitamin status. So the fact that whey protein isolate had the ability to actually improve upon their B12 and folate deficiencies was remarkable. Now, keep in mind, too, one of the factors I always say for, say, a diabetic, for example, I was just talking about the different amino acids that can help to support better blood glucose response. Many diabetics are on metformin, and metformin is the most widely prescribed drug for diabetics. Metformin also can create a big problem, which is a B12 deficiency. So thinking about those different things, if you know someone who is a diabetic, maybe you should say, maybe you should consider whey protein as part of your dietary routine. Maybe they don't have the best dietary habits and they're working on that. So maybe encouraging them to do whey protein isolate and having, one drink a day. And you can fancy this up however you want. We have the chocolate and we have the vanilla, but you can do it however you want. If you want to get fancy and you want to put some fruits in there, you can certainly do that. It's, all what you make of it. Um, but this is just an added bonus because if someone happens to be a diabetic who happens to be on metformin, who probably has a B12 deficiency, whey protein isolate would be advantageous. And also think of the other benefits. They're also getting that arginine, which is going to help support cardiovascular health and maintain healthy blood pressure levels, but then also getting the benefit of having that cysteine, which is going to help to enhance glutathione status. So, all of these different ways in which whey protein is just a powerhouse. And ours, like I said, it is the isolate. So it's that pre-digested hydrolyzed form. So it means it's going to absorb into the system. So you're getting that full spectrum of all of those key amino acids, which is really, really important in terms of just optimizing our overall absorption of those amino acids. So very, very key. And for those who happen to have any type of issue with lactose, this is lactose free. So remember, being that it's the isolate, the lactose has been removed from that. So we think about all these benefits. We say, okay, well, it can help to support B12 status, which is also really good when we think about the cardiovascular system, because if we have elevated homocysteine levels and we don't have adequate B12 and folate, having whey protein on board to help to stabilize those levels can also help with having better homocysteine. Remember, homocysteine is when we have vascular inflammation that is occurring. So I always encourage people to try and get these levels tested so that you know what your homocysteine level is. Because if you see that that's elevated, then maybe you know. Maybe I'm not getting enough B12 and folate in my diet, and I should be supplementing with them and even adding in some whey protein, which will also help to support those levels of those B vitamins. So, all of these different ways that we know. Now, another thing to always consider when we think about muscles is sarcopenia. And sarcopenia is age related muscle mass loss. And this is a major problem. A lot of it comes down to inadequate dietary intake of proper protein balance along with vitamins and minerals and not being as active as we once were when we were younger, but we definitely don't want to succumb to sarcopenia. And we know that whey protein isolate has been studied extensively to show the true benefits when it comes to maintaining healthy muscle mass as we get older. So it's not always about being young and being buff. We also have to think about the long term implications of maintaining muscle mass, but also yielding those many other benefits that I mentioned that go along with whey protein supplementation. So definitely check it out. You can go to our website, invitehealth.com. As I mentioned, we have the vanilla and we have the chocolate, and you can utilize it however you want to. Some people like to use it before they work out, some people use it after they work out. Some people don't work out, but they use it maybe as a meal replacement. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can utilize this. And one serving is going to actually yield you 13 grams of protein. So this is very important. Now, here's another little side note. If you're not sure how much protein you're supposed to be getting in every single day, which does matter, definitely talk to one of our nutritional consultants and ask them how much you should be using, because too much protein is not a good thing, and most Americans way over protein themselves and not with the right proteins. So, generally speaking, most people need roughly about 60 grams of protein per day. There's a lot of different variables to that, but that's kind of the average. And so, if we're spacing that out throughout the day, we're looking at maybe 20 grams of protein per meal. So, this is important to always keep in mind, especially for those who have concerns with kidney health and things along that line. So having whey protein is going to give you a really healthy amount of that protein for one sitting. So maybe you partner that up with some nuts or some seeds, and then you're kind of hitting that really nice mark of right around 20 grams of protein for one meal. So if you're not sure how much you should be taking, definitely ask one of our nutritional experts and they will be able to help guide you and make sure that you are doing the right things when it comes to your nutrient intake. And I will be back with you in a few more days to talk about more wonderful formulations available at InVite Health. Thank you.